Where he went. Big boy. Baby! You have the ball!
Disneyland is not the happiest place on earth.
Baby, you have the ball!
Out of the ones I make for this video, I absolutely love the effects, the colors, the way it turned out, the shapes. Maybe I just got lucky, I don't know, but I really love this doodle. The colors are just so bright and bold and fun to play around with these pens. I love limiting my color palette. It is something I love to do because it really helps you exaggerate shadows and experiment with colors.
Hey guys, so I thought I'd do a little check-in. It's just my head because I have you propped up, my phone propped up on my pencil drawer tower thing. Very specific. So I thought I'd talk a little bit about what I had done today because I figure it might be useful for people just starting out with creating an art business as I am. I want to, you know, like I've been working on my branding and stuff. I want to create a sort of business for my writing and my art. So, and all of this was suggested in Joy-san's Patreon Discord. Full, you know, disclosure, we were all talking about this sort of thing, but she mentioned getting a checking account, just, you know, specifically for what your art stuff, your work, so that you can, you know. Sorry, it's good yawn. Not even 6 o'clock yet. I'm ready to go to bed. But, make it easier for, like, taxes and finances and stuff. So, I got myself a bank account. So, what was it? First National Bank. It was the bank I went to. If that is available in your area. They have something called the Freestyle checking account. And it's their, like, most basic. There's no minimum balance that you have to have. There's no deposit when you open it, so long as you open it in person rather than online, because online I think you have to have like a $50 deposit to begin with. And then there's no maintenance fee if you set up for online only banking, which is easy to do. I did it in like 5 minutes. So if you're thinking about an account, but you know you don't really have any money yet, so you don't have to put anything in, you don't have to pay a monthly maintenance fee, which I didn't even realize was a thing. The bank that I've used before was never like that, didn't have any sort of monthly maintenance fee, and I think that's bizarre. Like, I don't know, I think that's a really bad idea, but... So yeah, that's what I did. That was like the one thing I did today. I've been cleaning all day as well, so I didn't really get any art or any writing done. I haven't written in forever. I really need to get back to it, but I've been spending so much time... Excuse me. Like I said, I'm really tired. I'm gonna make some tea. I was gonna make coffee, but I think I'll make myself some tea. Something with caffeine in it. What was I gonna say? Oh yeah. I've been trying so hard to come up with the art book, but we'll see. I might need to pump the brakes on that a little bit, just so I can, yeah, baby. I don't know if you can hear him, but he's back there. He just finished his supper. So I can spend more time writing, but I don't know. But that's a little update I thought I'd share about the bank account, just because that might be useful to somebody. Do you see a birdie out there, baby? Oh, I see him. Look at him. The audacity. So I am doing some work on my writing, which, I mean, crazy, huh? I never do writing anymore, it feels like, which is all the more reason to do it. You might notice that I am at a different angle. I am using a really old point and shoot camera. The footage is probably kind of grody. I don't know if I'm going to keep using it. It was working fine. I found it when I was going through some of my stuff, and I got, you know, the batteries charged up, and it seemed to be working fine. But it seems to be glitchy now, so I probably won't use it after this clip unless I can get it to work perfectly. Pause that. So I am in Scrivener working, and I have a candle lit, and I'm just doing a little bit of work. I'm going through and rereading what I have. You can probably see back here, this is actually my new computer monitor. I ordered a computer and everything shipped separately. So I have the monitor but not the computer yet, and I cannot wait for the computer to get here because it just means that I won't be struggling with everything like I have been. So that'll be nice. So I'm just gonna sit here and work on rereading my book and editing as I go. I think I mentioned before at the beginning of January just the different feedback I had gotten when I talked to a CP, a critique partner, and I am ready to implement that into my work. So yeah, I'm gonna get to work. Nope. No, don't eat it. I mean, it's just cornstarch, but still. No. Be the computer.
Okay, here is my desk area. I got my desktop, and I like to use wireless mouse and wireless keyboard because the wires get all tangled. Oh, I love this lamp. Little desktop. I got it from IKEA, you guessed it. I actually recently got this. It's perfect for filming illustration video. My wall of paintings. I actually spent
Alright, the ones that wouldn't pop out I'm going to scrape out with a knife into the trash can. But I trust you don't need to see that. Alright, for these bigger pieces, I'm gonna just let them soak for a little bit because they've got, especially this one, I've got paint like caked onto them in some places. So I'm gonna let that soak for like maybe 20 minutes. I'm gonna go do some writing and then I'll come back to them. You think so? This palette has been stained for quite a while, probably a year or so now was when it first started to stain. I guess the white paint just absorbs the watercolor. But I'm not really worried about that. I just wanted the caked on paint to come off. BB! It's 4:15 and it's close enough to dinner time that he's starting to get whiny about it. He'll get food at dinner time though. It's not like he doesn't get fed 3 other times throughout the day. This piece. Hello, sir. This piece I'm not that worried about. It was mostly the other piece. It had some, like, not just, like, from, you know, mixing paint, but it had, like, actual, like, paint caked on it. And I really wanted that to come off. So that's good. And then I'll show you how I fill it up then later, which is really just going to be me squirting paint into it, but it's still interesting. Nope. This is not for babies. I'm sorry, I'm trying to get the paint to settle into the little pans. That's a little bit better. You gonna throw up?
Is he alright?
Yeah, I think he just burped. Or like when you burp and you throw up a little bit in your mouth. I think that's what happened.
Hey, boy, okay?
He seems alright. He might have eaten too fast. This is not a toy for the baby. Not at all. Look at this baby. Okay, so I wanted to share my palette. It's all done up. The dishwasher is running, so I apologize for the noise. Ravioli's a big fan. Between that and him laying on this, I think I'm going to take the light box with me to art group and try and do it there. I'll bring a cord, but he's being a little helper man. Aren't you? Yeah, a little helper. Alright, so I have this here, and I am going to be tracing it onto my watercolor paper. My desk is a mess, I apologize. Let me get my chair. So, I believe, start at the beginning. I do have a regular sketch of this. This was printed out off the computer, or yeah, because I did a sketch of it, but I made the mistake of sketching something on the back of the paper before I traced it, and it was just really hard to see what I was trying to do. And to make matters worse, I was doing it at art group, which there's nothing wrong with it. It's harder to focus because I want to talk to all the great people that are there. And I just didn't really do as good of a job with the tracing the first time as I wanted to. But I pushed through and tried to paint it, and I can show you where I got to. This is what it looks like, and I do really like the look of the vines. I find the color really effective. I like that, but I don't like the brown. It's not really the right color, and it feels chalky. So we are going to try again. So like I said, I scanned it. I upped the darkness of the lines. I went over some of them with pencil that just didn't print well. I see one here I missed that I need to do. Just use a pen for that. The line here I think is the end of that. And the reason I ended up taking it with me, I even took the light box to art group with me, was because the kitty cat kept laying on my light box because he wanted to help, which is adorable, but okay, that looks much easier to see. Let me get the pen and the washi tape, and I'll be right back. Okay, so that first bit was all kind of rambly and incoherent, and I'm not sure how well you understood what I was saying, but basically it was a disaster from the start. Like, the sketch was done on a paper that had other sketches on the back of it. I tried to do the tracing at art group because the cat kept laying on the light box, And I was too distracted there to do a very good job. So I'm redoing it now. I guess, let's see here. Hi, baby. Let's start with the vines crawling all over the house. I really like, for doing plant life, especially like bushes and vines that don't have defined leaves, at least at this scale. I like just kind of squiggling my pen around. Like my sketch will just have a line in the general area where I want it to go. So it's, you know, it's a lot more, I guess, free and spontaneous. Also, this painting I think is the largest I've done thus far for this series. And it's on the same size paper, it's just the house is a bit bigger. Like it barely fits on the arches paper, which is fine because it'll be scanned and I can resize it if I want. But I'm not sure why it ended up so large, other than it just, I don't know, there was a lot to it and I needed to draw it at a bigger scale to get the detail. Oh, excuse you. It's knocking pencils on the floor. Also, I decided I wanted this bush to come up at a, like, be growing closer to the house, so I am doing that. I'm making it like end closer, like the original end of the branches were down here, but we're going to improvise a little bit, which I do with pretty much every house painting and every painting in general. You just, you know, sometimes you just gotta make things up as you go along because you realize your first idea wasn't the best. So yeah, that's what I'm doing now. I don't know if there will be anything else this month, just because we are at the 25th. There might be. I don't know. So yeah, there's that. Alright, now I need to draw the vines in for the house behind it. The vines come down like this across the window. This is one of those houses that, like, looking at it breaks your heart, just because you can tell it used to be so nice and now it's neglected and abandoned. Actually, I don't know if this house is abandoned. I'm not exactly gonna go knock on the door and be like, hey, does anyone live here? You know, that'd be kind of weird, but like, you see a lot of houses like this in Pittsburgh where I forget the specific plant, but there's a certain plant that kind of has begun to take over. But I'm trying to think here. Camera. Sorry.
No, sorry.
No, you're fine. But yeah, that's about that. I guess I'll probably do a time lapse of the rest of this so you can see the tracing